I don't know, about an hour ago, whenever the News Herald sent the link out, I saw the story, and just to be very candid with you, I was shocked. I read through it, and I couldn't understand why it said what it said, and I got a legal mind to help me interpret some of it and my understanding, and this is where I'll let you ask your questions, was this was the affidavit or the information that was used to get the original warrants or whatever was done. And so I had been accused of all kinds of things before, and I, to be very candid with you, thought that what was going to happen was we would find out from the FBI very soon that they didn't find anything with any of us, that we were fine. I have not talked to an FBI agent. I have not been subpoenaed. I have not gotten any warrants or any request for personal information, and I would cooperate totally. I am not anti-FBI. I think they're great, and I think they know what they're doing. My understanding was this was all part of the preliminary and all part of what they were looking at because of everything that was being thrown out here in Bay County. I'm very, I guess I'm going to use the word shocked that something like this would come out, because no one at any time did any work on my house or my property or my rental house other than those I contracted with. I have all the receipts, I have all the information. I'll be glad to give that to the FBI. I have all the insurance documentation. I've been very blessed. I don't brag about this much because I don't want people that got messed over by contractors or insurance companies. Mine worked out very well, and I've got all that documentation. The only people that worked on my house were those who were contracted, my brother and I. The first day, we chainsawed ourselves out. Nobody else got us out. We did it ourselves. And then I had people that were from Louisiana do a bulk of the work immediately after it. So I don't know what accusations. I think if I read the story correctly, it said somebody that was working at somebody else's house said people that were at Husfeld's house. The only people at Husfeld's house were me and the people that I contracted, and none of them were local. They weren't GAC, they weren't anybody local. There were no local contractors around to do anything. I do want to say this, and I want to be very sincere in this, and I know I have to, I'm probably going, oh yeah, there it goes. Derwin White was a nice guy and was a friend of mine. I miss Derwin. I'm very sorry for Lynn for her loss and that family. I like talking to Derwin, but Derwin never asked me to do anything illegal, immoral, or unethical. And that was the kind of relationship we had. Now, as far as Bay District Schools dealings and all that, we gave them everything we had. Everything went through the lawyers, every bit of documentation, the billing, everything that FEMA wanted. I mean, we gave everybody everything. So again, I'm going to come out to, I think what was reported on was like 3 years old speculation of what was being said in the community happened. So, you know, I've lived in this community for over 50 years, and my name means a lot to me, and I want people to have respect. I don't want people to think I did something like this. To be very candid with you, it's hurt my feelings that this has come out, but I believe it's just misinformation that somebody thought. Nobody did any work at my house from any local companies at any time. I don't know what else to say other than that. GAC did not. There was, I had a rental house in my house next to mine, and so everything else was contracted, and I've got receipts for every bit of it. So we'll start here and then go back and forth and let you guys do what you want to do.
So I know you just said this, but just to reconfirm, GAC did not help you clean up your house or your rental home after the hurricane.
They never set foot on my property. I mean, GAC never, nor any local company that I know of. The people that did my yard cleaning and trees, and I had 2 trees in my house fall on my neighbor's house. And my neighbor can tell you that. I mean, because the people that my neighbor used were the same people that did mine. We all got together and used these same guys from Louisiana that had camped out down the street. I mean, when they came up and started talking to me, I really thought they were guardian angels. They came the first day. But nobody from GAC or any other company in town did anything on my property at any time.
How much of this has to do with the subpoena that the district received a couple of years ago?
I think every bit of it. I think that was probably the initial part of the investigation. Now, great legal minds that I've talked to said they were surprised this was released because this is what the judge used to decide whether or not to give them the warrants or whatever they want. And so,
But this was only written a year ago, so the
yeah, but see, Tom,
subpoenas predate that. So.
I don't know that. And see, no one has talked to me or asked me any questions.
Yeah, the date on this is 2 days before they actually did the search warrant on August the 5th.
Right.
So, I mean, the subpoenas that were issued here were about a year before that. So I'm trying to find out if.
I think it's still the speculation that was going around that, oh yeah, Husfeld's gotten that done, or this person's getting this. And I don't want to mention the other names. You guys have all read the articles. And I can't speak for anyone else but myself. No one did anything at my house but me. I learned to drive a tractor. I learned to move dirt around. We put 18 pallets of sod down. We did our own fencing. We moved the law. I mean, we did everything other than what we paid people from out of town to do. I mean, we did it ourselves. We didn't get anybody else to do it.
The subpoenas, apparently, assuming that the subpoenas a couple of years ago, we're dealing with the Tommy Oliver project. Is that the case?
I don't know that. Now, see, I don't know if it was Tommy Oliver, or my understanding was that was all hurricane related. All the subpoenas that I was aware of were related to Tommy Oliver. Maybe it had something to do with the hurricane of Tommy Oliver, but it was everything that I was aware of had something to do with the hurricane.
Would you be willing to make those receipts from the out-of-town companies that didn't work on your house public to deny these reports?
Yeah, but what I really want to do is I want to give them to the FBI. I don't want to get them out there to the public and everybody start going through it. I want to give it to the people that really matter and making that decision, and I want to give them to the FBI. And you know, I don't want to copy 1,000 things. I'm a nerd. I have everything saved because I had to turn it into the insurance companies. I have it saved in my Google Drive, my personal Google Drive, and all that. And so I don't mind giving that stuff out to the FBI, and they're the ones that would need it, I would think. If they want to look at it, I'd be glad. I'll sit down with them anytime they want to. And again, I really thought we were at the end of this. I talked to somebody the other day and said, I just wish the FBI would come out and say what they've got or what they don't have, or go on from wherever they are, because I thought this was about to be over with. And so no one was more shocked than I was to see that GAC or anybody had did any work at my house or tied any way to Bay District Schools paying for it. Nobody did any of that. I did it.
Have you contacted the FBI? Do you plan to?
I don't know who to call. I, honest to God, don't know who to call. I mean, it's, and I kind of, and look, I'm not getting into the national FBI thing. The FBI does a great job, and I think they've got to do, but I mean, but who do you call when you're falsely accused of something, or there's a mistake, or there's something that's out there that you want to get rectified? And I balance this. To be very candid with you, this is a danger of me standing here talking in front of you, but I've lived here, like I said, since I was 12 years old. I turned 64 today, and I don't want the community or the citizens to think that I did this. I'm standing here pleading with people to believe me that that is not true. None of it is true. I was shocked by it. I'll try to contact the FBI, but it's not like you dial 1-800-FBI, call me or whatever.
Jacksonville field office, I'd probably be the
But I don't know if they'd talk with me, though, Tom. I mean,
Sure, if you mentioned your name,
Well,
your name is showing up
Well-
in these documents.
well, to be very candid with you, I didn't even know it was Jacksonville field office. I'm glad you told me that. I mean, I'm in a world right now dealing with something that I had no idea what was happening. And so I asked to have this press conference to make sure that you had every chance to ask whatever question you want, because no one is more shocked or surprised than I am about this, and I'm taken back by it. I just, it just didn't happen.
And I know, have you spoken with legal counsel? Did the FBI reach out to your lawyers or anything?
I don't
like
have a
that?
lawyer. I haven't done anything wrong. I'm not going to spend a fortune on lawyers when there's not even a hint that I've done anything wrong. I haven't done anything wrong. And so I could hire a lawyer if I wanted to. I don't think I need to hire a lawyer. And I know that's the stupidest thing to say, they say, when you're being accused of something. But I don't want to spend the money to hire a lawyer when I don't need a lawyer. I literally have done nothing wrong.
I believe there was a part of the article that said that GAC had, I guess, construction equipment on Day District School's property at the school sites, and was paid for that, but that work was not done. What is your response to that?
I have no knowledge of that, and I think that was probably a lot of what was requested from the FBI and the U.S. District Attorney's Office. All that was provided for them. All I know is this, is that we have proven to everybody that's asked, all the work that was done was paid for, and we didn't pay for anything that wasn't done that I'm aware of. Once we gave all that to the FBI, we never had any more accusations or anything come up with that. So, I mean, again, I think there's a lot of speculation and a lot of people saying, you know, they drop out, well, he probably got such and such to get that done for him. I mean, it just didn't happen.
Not exactly a great birthday present.
No, it's not. And again, you know.
Are you surprised that this document was even made public at this point?
Well, the legal person I talked to was shocked, said that there's no way this should ever have been released. Because again, this is the information they use to the judge to get the warrants, and this kind of information is not usually released. So, but I'm not trying to hide anything. I don't mind standing here and answer all your questions.
Do you have any idea as to maybe a motive of why this document was
I think this has something to do with a grander scheme of bigger things than me. I mean, I'm a little fish in all this stuff, and I'm not involved in it. I'm not even in the same aquarium that these other people are in that are being accused. And I'm not saying anybody. Look, I'm not picking on anybody. And you're not going to record this, and you're not going to want to share this. One of the things, and I sent this email to one of my deputy superintendents this morning, because one of our biggest challenges in school right now are we can't find enough teachers. And it's driving me crazy. Most of you don't know this, but Sharon Mahalik has taught kindergarten for the last 2 days. And so we are desperate finding teachers. And so that's been what's keeping me up at night. And I sent an email to a friend, one of the devotions I was reading this morning, about not worrying and trusting that God's going to work out everything. And I have to take that to my own value system. I have to understand that I'm going to get through this because I know the good Lord's going to get me through it. But I can tell you this right now, this didn't happen. It did not happen. I'm not mad. I'm shocked. But I also believe I have to defend myself.
And I know you're saying you're shocked and you don't know who to contact, but...
Well, now Tom told me who to contact, so I'm gonna, don't worry, I'll be calling them.
But have you not been given a contact when you guys have been subpoenaed for materials in the past?
Well, now they don't go through me. When they want materials, and that's another thing that was played up before, I don't get any of that. Nobody calls me and says, we want these records. They come through our public information office, and there's a process and procedure we do for everything. You guys get records all the time. When you want records or public information, you have a process you go through. Everybody does that. And so we meet those needs and those requirements and those requests constantly. It's never ending.
Anything you'd like to add?
Just, you know, I would just plead with people to realize that I'm not standing up here guilty of anything. I know there are going to be, I call them keyboard commandos that are going to get out there and say, oh yeah, he did it, he's lying. I'm just saying, my word is my word. It didn't happen. And I believe the justice system will play that out. I'm just kind of shocked that this came out the way it did. And I'm depending on the legal system and the people in power to do what they have to do, and then the truth will come out. Thank you, guys.